Welcome to House of Trend. Today we are going to be counting down our picks for the top 10 scariest places on Earth. For this list we are looking at the most spine-chilling places on the planet. Make sure to leave a comment if you have ever experienced a scary place of your own, and let's dive straight into it. Number 10. The Hanging Coffins of Sagada. Members of the Nagoro tribe in the Philippines have been practicing burying their dead in coffins attached to the sides of cliffs for over 2,000 years. A person is expected to carve their own coffins before they die, and when they do, their families then tie or nail them with the other coffins on the cliff. Their belief is that they will be closer to their ancestors by doing this, and have an easier passage to heaven. But there is also a more practical reason for all of it, as it stops animals and water from getting into the graves. It is a very creepy destination, and apparently as you build up courage to look up at the coffins, there are some massive holes in some of them, leaving some of the skeletons' heads poking out. Pretty disturbing. Number 9. Overton Bridge. Located in Scotland, the Overton Bridge is over 120 years old. The bridge is above a waterfall and has been the location of many suicides, but not humans. Not a single person has died there. However, since the 1950s, hundreds of dogs have reportedly jumped off the bridge to their deaths. It is a totally unexplained mystery, as all the dogs jumped off the bridge in clear weather and were all breeds with long snouts. Today the total sits at 600 and now has a sign on the premises stating that dogs must be kept on their lead. Something very creepy is going on there. Let us know if you have any theories about this place. Number 8. The Island of Dolls, Mexico. This one is pretty creepy if you are not a big fan of dolls, and I know I'm definitely not. Located in Mexico, this island features various colours and styles of dolls, originally placed by the owner of the island. He believed that the dolls helped to chase away the spirit of a girl who drowned years ago, and the creepiest thing about this is, the owner died in the exact same place that the little girl did. The dolls are pretty threatening, even in the bright light of midday, but in the dark they are even more disturbing. Some witnesses claim that the dolls tend to move and even whisper to each other, while others who were on a boat near the island said the dolls even tried to lure them in. The only way we can confirm this is by going to the destination. Number 7. Suicide Forest. Some of you may have heard of this one before. Suicide Forest, located in Japan, has become known as the place where hundreds of people have unfortunately committed suicide. This huge forest is known for being very easy to get lost in, which is why visitors are strongly encouraged to stay on the trails. However, there are some people who enter the forest and sadly have no intention of coming out. Signs at the entrances remind visitors that their lives are precious and to think of their families and include a suicide hotline number. Japan's suicide rates are among the highest in the world, and the forest has become a popular spot where people have gone to do it. Another thing about this place is the soil has a very high iron content, which interferes with GPS and cell phone signals, meaning Google Maps will not be able to help you out with this one. Number 6. The ghost town of Pripyat. In 1986, a nuclear reactor began an accidental meltdown that would contaminate 30 kilometers of land in all directions with dangerous radiation. This led the government to evacuate 350,000 people, and some places such as Pripyat were deemed too unsafe for anyone to return. The result is a creepy ghost town that is frozen in time, sort of like something you would see on Call of Duty. It has been untouched and left exactly how it was over 30 years ago. Even the amusement park that was open a day before the accident is completely desolate. Estimations say that people will not be able to live there safely for another 600 years, but with a place that looks that creepy, I'm not sure anyone would want to. Number 5. Huay Batu Forest. According to sources, this forest located in Transylvania is a hotspot of paranormal activity. It has many nicknames including Romania's Bermuda Triangle and the most haunted forest in the world. If you are wondering why, it's because over the years this forest has had thousands of reports about paranormal activity here, including UFOs, ghosts and disappearances. One story tells of a 5-year-old girl who went into the forest and came back out 5 years later, wearing the same clothes and not looking a single day older. The strange activity in the forest centres around a clearing where nothing grows. While scientists have studied the soil and determined that there's nothing wrong with it, the area is devoid of plant and some claim it is a portal to another world. Researchers have come from around the world to study the forest, and numerous magazines and newspapers have included it in their lists of the world's most haunted places. Number 4. Pavaglia Island. Known as one of the most illegal places a person could visit, this island sits just off the coast near Venice. When people plan a trip to Italy, they most likely picture romantic walkways and fancy art, not a haunted island. This place was used to hold thousands of Black Plague victims, serving as a quarantine destination where the holders of the disease would die. The Pavaglia Island remains as one of the most haunted places in Italy, and although it's illegal to visit, thrill seekers continue to consider it a cool, creepy destination. However, anyone that has taken a chance of stepping foot on the island left with no desire to ever return. It's especially creepy as there was also a mental hospital that is now left abandoned on the rotten soils. Sources have said that the screams of patients are still heard to this day, and the ghosts of the plague victims still lurk on the island. If I was you, I would not consider visiting this place. Number 3. Nagoro. Nagoro is a slowly shrinking village located in the valleys of Japan that is populated by creepy dolls, and it might make you question if it's actually real. Well, yep, it is. All of the people that lived there left the village in search of employment or died. More than 11 years ago, one of the villagers returned home to Nagoro. Faced with loneliness, she has populated the village with dolls, each representing a former resident. Around 350 life-size dolls currently reside in the village. The local school is now filled with patient dolls waiting for class to begin. She first made a doll of her father, then made multiple of her other family members, and 10 years later, her work still continues. Made of straw, the bizarre dolls are dressed in old clothes and are pretty scary to look at. Number 2. Snake Island. This place is an island off the coast of Brazil in the Atlantic Ocean. The island is very small and consists of rock and forest. The island is the only home of the endangered species, the golden lancehead pit viper snake. The snakes became trapped on the island when rising sea levels covered up the land that connected it to the mainland. The snakes adapted to their new environment and are now known to pluck birds out of the sky and even shoot venom out at them, which can melt human flesh. Even if you remove the thousands of venomous snakes from the island, it's probably still not the ideal holiday destination. Number 1. The Paris Catacombs. This one is pretty crazy. In the 17th century, Paris ran into a problem where enough people had lived and died in the city that its cemeteries were overflowing, and the graves were so overstuffed that at the time corpses became uncovered. This caused Paris to build a tunnel underground that would last for 186 miles, and eventually today hold around 6 million corpses. This took workers 12 years to transfer the cold bones of the deceased citizens from the cemeteries down to the vast tunnel. The catacombs of Paris are not recommended to be visited by the public, as there have been a few cases of people getting lost or even trapped. One guy got lost in the spine-chilling tunnel and died down there. His body was found 11 years later. And surely if 6 million corpses are stuffed under there must be a large number of spirits lurking around, which is another reason this place is deemed as being very scary.